So today in I do what I do when I do what I do, something really cool, really interesting, and I play basically Linux right now. This is my game. This is the game I really enjoy right now, testing things out. I test out different Linux operating systems, and I myself, Linux for me is still new. I'm not a Linux geek or expert or whatever you want to call that. And the good news is you don't need to be. It has become much easier, but I don't want to give you the wrong impression. Linux is still, when you only experienced Windows through all your life and you switch to Linux, it's gonna be for 3 months, 4 months, depending on your character, depending on your interest. It can be very fast if you like, and if you have like a interest in Linux stuff, and you like coding on typing in some commands, you are covered. If you have to change, you're forced to change. It's much more difficult, but it's doable. It takes a while. I would say 3-4 months, and then you start to slowly feel like cozy, slowly, But once in a while, something will happen, and it makes you want to go back to Windows. It doesn't matter how big it is. It can be a slight annoyance. The slightest inconvenience I figured out. Whenever something I want to do right at the moment doesn't work immediately, I want to go back to Windows. Luckily, I can't. I mean, in theory, I still can. And I do not switch. Doesn't mean I like Windows still. But Linux is going to be a part of my daily operating system. It's going to be a part of my daily routine now, for sure. And that's thanks to Microsoft. So, arigato, Microsoft. Good job. The reason for that is it gives me control. It gives me control for my privacy stuff, and that is very cool. Because why the heck would I feed if I don't have to the data to Microsoft? But this is another topic. Anyway, today I want to show you something really cool. So think about, this is a random format. Once in a while I show you something cool. Once in a while I just talk blah blah. And today I have something really cool. So think of Steam remote play only with open source programs. And so what happened was, so right now also want to give a recommendation if I want to switch to Linux, and if you just don't want to touch the terminal, PopOS is this. And if you have even an NVIDIA graphics card, check out PopOS because it's very simple. You do the updates over this app here. You have the Pop Shop. And it's a weird name in a way because it's not really a shop. I couldn't find anything to buy in there. Maybe there is something. But you open the Pop Shop here and it checks for updates automatically. Like over here, this is how it greets you actually. And here you do the updates. You don't have to touch a terminal for that. And if you need any programs like VLC, Media Player, then it'll you find all the programs in here: Audacity, VLC, whatever you need, Spotify, stuff like this. There is no Netflix. Netflix you have to use. I mean, I'm using the Google browser for that, just in case you wonder. So far so good. That's a bunch of programs. So cool. You can find really interesting programs, and I really like the idea. So everything you handle through this Pop Shop. So it's very intuitive. I like it a lot. And I would recommend this one. Yeah, this would be my first recommendation. If you're more a tweaking guy, if Linux Mint is looks more like Windows, but I find this even simpler, also more appealing. Like the art style is better, but you cannot customize here so much. However, you covered. You have everything you need with this one. Just my recommendation. So that said, I'm gonna use here. I'm quitting this here for a second. I'm gonna reopen that one here. I say here is my Moonlight. This is called Moonlight. This is the client, which will connect to my older computer. This is not a virtual machine. This is my older computer, and I remote control my older computer. And sometimes when you change settings or when you restart, you have to double start. It always works, but sometimes you have to just start it again. Why? I don't know. I didn't figure that out. It's also not a tutorial or whatsoever. It's just something I figured out while testing another operating system. So this is here. This operating system. This is my old computer now. So this is remote control right now. This operating system is called Bizarre, or B-A-Z-A-A-R, Bazaar, or whatever this is called. It's a stupid name. I don't like the name at all. This is the only thing I don't like about this operating system. The name is stupid. But okay, this is just my personal thing. Who cares? I can happy that everything else is great. I just don't like the name. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, so here, what am I doing here? So here is, right now I'm using here a wired connection. I tried that also. My older computer, I'm right now in the middle of building my older computer is an old tower computer, very ugly. It's black and, you know, cables sticking out and stuff like this. And I had this idea to cover this guy in a coffee table to make it more suitable as a multimedia console for the living room, maybe. So I'm working on that right now. And for that reason, I bought like a very cheap USB Wi-Fi connector, which has 2-point-something gigahertz. Very slow Wi-Fi. I tried to play Oblivion on that remote control. It works. There is an input lag, sure, but it's not worse than Steam is doing it. It's just basically the same. I don't feel any difference. So Steam is doing the remote play very well. This Sunshine also does it very, very well. So I'm actually very impressed that it just runs so well. So I installed this Bezier thing. I thought this is like a console. Yeah, I could make my computer to a console, but it's not really what I wanted. However, I was just checking some apps, and here are the apps available. And then I saw this was already pre-installed, Sunshine. I was thinking, what the heck is Sunshine? And so I was Googling it, and I figured out, oh, that sounds interesting. And yeah, so I basically checked it out. But you need, in order to make it work, you need Sunshine. This is the server. So I'm not gonna show you that because I'm not sure if I can. I'm not an expert. But anyways, you start the server, and that's you have to adjust it a little bit. There's some videos out there which can help you with that. But it's depending on what character you are, you can. If I can make it happen, you can make it happen for sure. So. But yeah, so this is the server. It started here. Sunshine you have to activate, and then you have the client, which is called Moonlight, and this is how you can connect to the server / target computer and remote control this guy. It also works with the phone. So on the Google Play Store, there is Moonlight, the app, and you can, if you're on the same network, you can just connect to that too. I tested it with my phone and tablet. Worked completely. It's a little bit annoying sometimes, you know. When you want to connect, you have to type in the code. I figured out my phone just, you know, that it shows the code for only 3 seconds or something, if even. That was weird. I don't know why. So there are some glitches happening, but I was able to do it. Anyway, so now I have a stable wire connection, and we're gonna play some Oblivion. I'm just gonna show you that it's possible. Oblivion for the reason I wanted to Bethesda games. I have some problems with Bethesda games when I use the program Bottles. I would even recommend, if you have Steam or GOG or Epic, that you use the and in this Bizarre, I can also recommend that because it's also very straightforward, very clean. You would do the updates over here, system updates. That's cool. And it also comes already built in with a firewall integrated, so that's great. And here would be the browser. But the browser, I don't know, I'm not an expert, I shouldn't comment on that. No, I'm not gonna comment on that. Anyway, so so Bethesda games with Bottles is a problem, but basically the problem what I have is, for example, this here is Fallout London, and when I start Fallout London, I don't have to start it because it just, you know, it would start and then it would run eventually. It takes a while, and then it would boot in the normal Fallout 4 base game, ignoring all the DLCs. And I'm still not sure if this is also applying to the normal Game of the Year edition of Oblivion. So my fear is that when I play Oblivion, that it disregards the DLCs. I'm not sure if this is actually happening or not. I think it's fine. I have to actually check that because I already played through the prison escape. Let's do that. You want to see probably that. It's more fun. So I'm going to just say play here. This is a GOG version of Oblivion. And Ooh, only one thing I should have changed. So yeah, before I cannot play like that. The reason for that, I have to close that, is I changed it so that you can see when I move the mouse, when I leave this window, I can just, you know, continue here. This is just some save files, save game files. I can just be on my desktop and then go back into the other computer. The transition is very smooth, so basically this window is not capturing my mouse. This is the option. So this one I turn off, so now it's more like for games, it'll capture the mouse. So this will crash now and I have to restart that. That should happen. Obviously not, whatever you expect, forget it. This is freaking unbelievable. First time that I changed the option, whatever. Okay, I also tried to run Vortex to make this happen. Didn't work out, but it works. The Fallout, that's why I would recommend you use Lutris. With that, I can just install the one-click Fallout London version through a GOG, and it just runs on my main machine. I tested it out. So how well the game runs, I don't know. I just know it starts as it's in the right way. That's good. So Lutris would be my recommendation. And Lutris is already pre-installed, and Steam is also already pre-installed under this Linux bizarre OS or whatsoever. Yeah, let's play this guy here. And also my older computer uses an older screen, so that's actually the max resolution it can do, and that's fine for me because I just want to play around with some settings. So for everybody who jumps in right now, just skips through the video, this is a remote control. I'm saying that again. I may say that again one more time. Using Sunshine as a server and Moonlight as a client. I'm connecting to my older, weaker computer. My weaker computer is actually playing the game. But it makes sense in this case because it's still powerful enough to play Oblivion. It can also do more than that, actually, graphics card. So my main computer, I exchanged recently power supply and graphics card, and my old computer has the older graphics card in. So, and I can already skip. You see, this is all. You can maybe help me, you know. I mean, I probably have to check this myself. You will not answer me, and if you do it, the answer comes in 2 years, and I don't care about this anymore. Hey, I've never seen that. This is actually a face. Interesting. So, but maybe you are quick, so you can just. I'm gonna show you the quest, and you can. This happens all the time. Don't wonder. You get this message very often, very quick. Just be a little bit patient. So, just being honest, there is a little bit of input lag, so you will feel that. But it's definitely playable, and it's also playable when you use the. You know. Isn't that all great? I mean, yeah, I mean, that's some cool stuff. And again, Sunshine and Moonlight are available under Windows. I think I saw a video. That's the reason why I think that's the case. When I was checking out what the heck that it actually is. But I discovered it because I was using Linux. So to me, that's all part of the Linux journey here. And Windows didn't show me that. And yeah, I mean, remote play with. What is happening? With Steam is also fine. I have nothing against Steam. Actually, if GOG wouldn't be there, I would, Steam would be my next favorite launcher. So a little bit of input lag. What you could do when you are in home stream, use just the. I can just. Right now I'm using the same keyboard and mouse from my main computer. I can really use the original mouse and that helps a little bit with the input lag. So they are a little bit more responsive when I use the wireless keyboard from the target computer which I'm controlling right now. That helps. It makes this game actually completely playable. But even if I use right now again, I'm using my normal computer, my main computer keyboard and mouse. I can just switch here. You can see switching here. Bump. And it's switching in just fine. So it's incredibly cool. And you can use the. Are you actually a friend? I don't know. You can use the. I forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, let's just check out some quests here. So these are my quests. So I think repairing the orrery or this Beefon Castle, I think those are DLC quests, right? Those are the quests you get when you have the Game of the Year edition. I could check that myself, to be honest, by just loading an earlier save and then. But I'm probably just gonna Google it if I think of that. But that looks to me fine, right? So it means Bottles is doing a good job. I think so. If not, there's always the... you are not a friend. This is a game, you know, when I played this game for real, meaning when I was completely into this game, that was around, I'm guessing, 2008, 2010 maybe. Shortly before Skyrim, because I got a computer which was able to run Fallout 3 and Fallout Vegas and also Oblivion. What the heck is happening with you? What is wrong with you? Here we go. Very late, so I was late to the party as I usually am. That doesn't bother me so much. But back then I played it really, but I never really understood. Let's put it that way. I have no idea what's happening here. Story-wise, to me it's a sandbox game. I just, you know, that's fine to me. I like it, but I don't know what's happening. I don't think it's even necessary, you know. I think I'm gonna die here. Let me do some. Do I have something? What's here? Here we go. Usually I play, this is a character very fast created. I've never, usually play I always magic guys only, like the completely magic. I think this guy is very word skilled also. I don't do any magical damage. I think that's what is confusing me. Yeah, I'm not used to that. So okay, but eventually I killed this guy. And yeah, so that's basically streaming. Isn't that cool? So also only one problem I've discovered is it has something to do with the in-home streaming. That works fine. Just for some reason, I can do in. I was also thinking maybe using the older computer as a server, you know, for my files and so on. And there is right-click settings. Here, file sharing. So I can do file sharing. If I do that, I'm not gonna show it right now. But if I do that, I can my main PC can access this computer without any problems. And I can access the file or the folder which is shared, the public folder. That's I can put, but vice versa doesn't work. Even if I turn off the firewalls, that's very confusing to me. That is super confusing. I have to look into that, or something about Samba and stuff like this. But every time this happens, you know, I'm really happy about graphical overlays. Every time you watch a video and it's just very quickly, you know, you see a guy 15 minutes typing in some code and it's done. And I think, oh, I don't want to do that. I just wanna right click a folder and share this one. That's it. I don't want to do more shit than that. But eventually, if there is no other solution, you're gonna do that. For example, I think, is it here actually? Do I have the I see now the mouse is captured. Now I have to tap out of that. Where do I have it? Power limit. So I used to have, to limit the power of my older GTX 1080, I wrote this guy. No, I just lied to you. That's not me. I wrote maybe A. The rest is just ChatGPT shit. But eventually so I had an app to control the power draw from the GPU. That makes sense when you have like a GTX is working very hard, and sometimes just getting hot during the summertime, which is not a problem right now. To limit the watt with the graphical overlay, it was called Green with Envy. I cannot find this program right now. I don't want to know the reason actually. So, but I have a solution, which is basically I think I'm gonna use this one because it's temporarily, so I can temporarily lower the power. How is this called? To lower your GPU power limit temporarily. Yeah. With this command, I think so. This sets the power limit to 1. Yeah. Now the question is what was the default value of my power card? Maybe I should check that out first. But eventually, if I use this code, this sets the power limit to the change is temporary. After adjusting, you can verify that. I mean, verification is fine, but eventually I will see the performance in games. I would set it to 80 and see what happens. This one. Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is graphical overlays are fine, but once in a while you will get more familiar with terminal commands, and this is the way I use most of the commands. I'm not memorizing them, because the problem with my typing is I'm never going to be good at this, because the problem is my brain is refusing whatever logic other people using. I write things like I hear them. That's my excuse, I could say I cannot write, but I rather say I write my way. Which is true. It is true. Anyway, the problem is when I also have problems with the eye, so that's a good excuse. I'm gonna use that more and more, because this is, it's some shit in life, but you have to use the good of it. So I don't have to deal with that in order to protect my eyes as well. Sure, I play games, yeah, but I need a good mindset to go through life, So again, yeah. So luckily I don't have to read or write, and I have a great excuse now. So the problem is, even if my eyes would be fine and so on, and I can see clearly, that's a weird thing. But anyway, but this is not the problem. Even if I wouldn't have any problems with that, I couldn't write anyways. So I would always misspell something, and eventually, this is the way how I just, I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Something which I still remember Martin, a very good friend, intelligent friend of mine, he said, Lucas, this is the rule, never copy never copy anything from the internet, always write it yourself, or something like that, he said. Which probably is true when you work for a company, but I usually, when I use ChatGPT, there's a time where you don't give a damn anymore. But luckily with Linux, if you're not 100% certain and you are impatient and there's a lot of things to just try and error, when you get tired and you don't want to read everything, eventually when you figure things out with Linux and you messed around with so many things that you cannot understand what you have done, eventually what you can do is just, when you've learned something and now you understand how this actually works, you just reinstall the whole system and make sure it's clean. You do this. You're messing around and you reinstall. You're messing around and you reinstall until you get more and more familiar, and at some point you feel kind of comfortable with Linux. Also, you can see this is my rsync simple. This is basically like robocopy in Windows, which is my preferred method of doing any kind of backup. It's super cool, and rsync is great. Yeah, singing and music is a part of me. And here, I do not know, it's probably too late, but if you... This guy is right now, I'm sending this to everybody of my family and stuff like this, say in Japanese, happy birthday, because it's a Japanese dog. It says Tanjobi omedetou, and then the name, and then san. If you want me to I can make this, if you want to greet somebody, if there is somebody, if somebody of your beloved ones birthday is coming up, I could do that with the name, you have to write the name, and then I can make a little version of that. I will give it a try, but give me enough time to actually do that, not tomorrow. So that I can prepare. And that's actually the one thing when I do that. It's the only reason to going back right now to Microsoft is because of the Reaper. Reaper is an audio production program which also runs under Linux, but not fully. And this is right now my only program where I have to go to Microsoft. When I say I have to go, I don't. I know the Linux guys will probably say, no, there is a solution, there is an alternative for everything, but you gotta take it also slowly. Slowly or slow, I don't know. Because I'm still learning that. If I overwhelm myself, it's not fun anymore, You have to, this balance, when you learn things, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to have a balance between fun and learning. If this becomes too tedious and it's all voluntarily, you give up. And that's the thing, so sure. I'm gonna look for alternatives. The problem is I don't know shit about, I would like to find some plugins which I can use under Linux. So I could use Reaper natively running under Linux, and what I couldn't figure out is how to make the VLC player run in Reaper. This is the main thing I need, because I do Blender. And check out on my Project Lara channel, check out, there is a Reaper video I've made, and you will understand why that is so important for me. And yeah, under Linux there is another program called Adore, which is similar, but I bought Reaper. I want to use Reaper for that reason. Anyway, so that's about it. So today only just that. I just wanted to show you that. It's so cool. I babble a little bit, and that's about it. Now I'm gonna play around with other things, do some backups and stuff like that, and yeah, maybe work a little bit with wood in the kitchen, building something, a shelf. Right now it's fun. I like the wood. I would like it better if I would have actually space to work with wood, because we are in an apartment, and every time you saw something, and so you have to always vacuum clean, and then you have to wipe, and it's tedious. It's not fun. Or it's fun, but it's more fun when you have like a little workbench, or like a garage or something where you can be more dirty. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's it for today. Maybe also I made the Diablo run. I mean the Blizzard thing, Diablo Blizzard. Yeah, I mean my goal was never going back to Blizzard, but I'm not strong enough, and since I have a great excuse, I want to enjoy. I boycott a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, but not overdoing it. I'm still good with one thing. Sure, I'm not a perfect person. I cannot hold up to anything I say, but one thing I hold up very easily is not investing into microtransactions. I just don't do that. That is not a thing I do, because it's also easy for me, because I don't see the point of that. It's stupid. I hate those games. This is absolutely not the thing, and that I can hold up easily. This is just stupid. Doesn't mean DLCs of a proper game, it's a different thing. If there's a proper DLC, gives me some extra stuff, but I'm not gonna buy a collar. I'm not gonna buy stuff which is just and here we're in a gaming perspective, which is simply appearance, or what do I say? They have a word for that, cosmetic. And that's so stupid. It doesn't matter, it's just cosmetic. It matters. Why the fuck do we have graphics if it doesn't matter? What a stupid thing to say. Really, it matters. It matters. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm too excited. I gotta go. Bye bye. Auf Wiedersehen.